Give me like the top three bullet points around what Evaluate's doing,
Yeah,
the
so
value you're
our
providing.
goal, yeah, so I think it's two-sided. Our first goal is for our users to be able to manage their NFT portfolio across different marketplaces, different blockchains, and even more importantly, different wallets, right? So you can go to Evaluate, you can link your Dapper wallet, multiple MetaMask wallets, your Blockto wallet, a Coinbase wallet, and then see a unified view of your portfolio, which then you can track those prices across different marketplaces. And even at, and I think beyond that, sort of on the discovery level, you can go to individual NFTs, whether you own them or looking to buy one, and see what they're worth at the trait level, how they're selling across different marketplaces. So today we added Looks Rare, we have OpenSea, Gaia, the NBA Top Shot, Storefront, Vive. For I think we just hit 800 NFTs, and the goal is to scale that to thousands. So yeah, I think like the focus for us is for you to be able to go to one place and see your holdings across different wallets, and then be able to price them based off of what's happening, not just in a single marketplace, but in a sort of an environment where there's multiple large marketplaces. And I think we're starting to see fragmentation in terms of where sales are happening in NFTs and where they're being listed. So yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's the goal for us, is just to kind of bring that clarity in terms of like what are my assets worth, and if I'm looking to buy one, how should I think about like how the sales are trending and what the attributes of that NFT are worth?
Totally. And so it's interesting that you are including, multiple blockchains in the analysis and also being able to attach multiple wallets. What's your reasoning behind being blockchain agnostic?
Yeah, I think for us, we've noticed that our users and NFT collectors, including us, don't care as much about like the ecosystem or the technology, the tech infrastructure of that NFT. They care about the art, the brand, the assets themselves. So for us, we've noticed that on Ethereum, people tend to have multiple Ethereum wallets. A lot of people are similar to us, where they collect across Flow and Ethereum, Solana, and others. And as a company, we're extremely bullish on flow, and but we also understand that different blockchains have different sort of applications that they're specialized for, right? Like Dapper is an excellent infrastructure for commercial applications that are looking to create hundreds of thousands or millions of NFTs and serve users who aren't comfortable with high transaction fees. I think Ethereum has kind of found a space in terms of people who are very focused on decentralization. It has a very good track record in terms of like serving that PFP market, being seen as assets that are almost like Veblen goods, or very pricey in terms of like in value, and it has that historical element. So uh, for us, it's not that like we just want to add whatever one's the winner. We just think that in the future, people are going to be collecting across different blockchains that serve very different purposes.
Yeah, no, it's interesting how you break down the different chains by what they do well or how they're perceived. Definitely at Unstoppable Domains, we are open to multiple blockchains. It's really about whatever is best for the user. So like Polygon, if that's going to reduce transaction fees and create a better minting experience, that's where we'll serve versus strictly sticking to the Ethereum blockchain. Like, what do you? I'd be curious. Do you have any? And this is a very off the top question, so it's okay if you don't have an answer to it. Do you have like data or trends that you've seen on different L1s around their adoption? Like, how is Solana and Flow compared their growth to Ethereum when it comes to the NFTs? Because I'm hearing a lot of buzz right now around Solana, and I also saw Flow, or I guess Dapper Labs got another massive round of funding. So I imagine that they're having a lot of development activity on that blockchain too, right?
Yeah, so I believe Dapper just announced this $750 million ecosystem fund, which I believe is the largest of its kind. And it's a good incentive for people to build on Flow. Flow is also, and Dapper Labs in particular, are working to sort of make Flow more accessible for developers so that you can deploy smart contracts without having to go through a manual review period. So I think there's a lot of optimism to be had in terms of their ecosystem. In terms of like data across different chains, I guess more on like an anecdotal level, I think you'll see a lot of trends in terms of like what's happening on Ethereum or what's happening on Flow really be driven by the top couple of projects, right? So when Yuga did the other deeds for other, or the other side drop, that drove a ton and ton of volume on Ethereum. Does that necessarily mean that like the like sentiment on Ethereum is 10x that month? Maybe not, right? But and similar for Flow, right? Where when NBA Top Shot's performing well and then doing well and marketing well, that sort of trumps what the maybe the 100 other NFT collections that are popular on Flow the impact is really kind of driven at the top. There's a definite power rule in terms of like what projects drive the volume. I think it's exciting to see for like things like Solana and Flow and others, the development and how it's being advanced. But yeah, your guess is as good as mine in terms of like what chain is going to have the most volume in a year. Or 5 years. There was a period where like Flow was, growing, was explosive, but a lot of times it's more so about like the organic, like who's actually getting into these different projects for that experience or because of they enjoy that brand versus like these runs we see where there's sort of this like financial fever of like I want to make 5x, 10x in a day or a week and whatnot. But yeah, I wish I had brought like more data across in terms of like cross chain adoption or like multiple blockchain adoption. But yeah, and then I think another thing that we see is a lot of people, like when they link a MetaMask account on our site, like they tend to just only look at Ethereum, and a lot of people who are on the Flow ecosystem tend to like stick to Flow. So our goals, and I'm sure similar to Unstoppable, is we want to make it easier for people to get involved with, to sign up, or to create wallets on different sort of blockchain ecosystems, and then manage that in one place. Because I think a lot of people, you have your wallet or your multiple MetaMask wallets, and that's the source of truth for what you own, and you might even forget that you own assets on other chains. So,
Yeah.
I hope that answers the question. I know
Yeah.
it's a little bit all over.
We might have to jam some time about talking about like NFT domain implementation, because it's like when you have multiple wallets, a domain really helps you associate multiple wallets to like one human readable name, right? So you can track your wallets easily. So if you want someone to send you, from a transactional perspective, send you funds, you just give them one name. And it sounds like, for tracking your portfolio, that's a big pain point for users, is what I'm hearing. It's okay, I have all these different wallets. Now I have them across different chains. If I forget to input my wallet and evaluate market, all of a sudden you're not tracking it, versus having like one name that you've already associated all your wallets to for the transactional purpose. Now you can use that to do portfolio monitoring too. But yeah, that's definitely a pain point, I'd say, not just for your portfolio tool. We're seeing it in the domain area. It's just as users have more wallets, how do you keep track of that? How do you maintain safety of all of them? Which ones do you use for which purposes? It's an interesting thing people are figuring out right now. I don't know
Yeah,
if
definitely.
like what's the average amount of wallets people are connecting to your site? Do you know? I mean, is it traditionally one, or is it actually a little higher than that?
Yeah, traditionally one. A lot of people are hesitant to connect their wallet. I think that's another challenge that if you're an application builder in Web3, if somebody is hearing about you for the first time, there's a sort of boundary they have, especially when you have hundreds of thousands of dollars in a wallet, to actually connecting your wallet. And I think tools like we've looked heavily and we're working on like signing in with Unstoppable or connecting with Unstoppable because you guys have an excellent sort of I guess package that you allow people to connect with that. Things that allow people to kind of have more trust in sort of the application that they're building. I think we could do a better job as an application in terms of walking people through connecting multiple wallets. And that's something that we're researching heavily, is like, how do we make this process intuitive? How do we incentivize people to really go through the process of signing, 4 or 5 wallets on different wallet providers? But yeah, I think for the most part, we see a lot of people just connect one wallet. And a lot of people will, I think in the past and even now, we offer a lot of functionality for people who don't even connect their wallet. So, but if you're looking to build in Web3, I think one challenge or one starting point that you have to look at is how do we build a reputation that, if we need people to connect their wallet, to get people over that hump, and how do we, make it clear, provide resources for people in terms of like the level of permissions that you're giving this application. Because there's always like a trust factor in terms of getting people to connect.
Yeah.
And obviously you can do a lot more when someone connects to the wallet.
You're listening to the Unstoppable Podcast, the go-to place for everyone to learn about the latest innovations in Web3, NFTs, and the decentralized web. Welcome to the metaverse.